You ready to get started?
Sure. Let's do this.
Dave, welcome to the podcast.
Hello,
It's a
everybody.
little it's a little surreal here. Is there even anything football related to talk about? Did anything happen last week?
Nope, nothing at all. Time to turn it off.
Yeah.
Let's
Hey,
just
I got a Joe Burr
okay.
cold IPA. Pour one out for my boy.
Michelle would love that.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe. I mean, it was a tough week of football, Dave.
It was kind of brutal to be a Bengals fan or a fan of your own fantasy team or a fan of life in general, really.
Yeah, man,
Other
that
than that,
was
things are great.
I mean, that Thursday night game and here like the crazy thing is that so Jack had a basketball game out in Batesville, and so like we were busting it to get out of there, and then we're driving back and we're listening to it on the radio. And so all the Mark Andrews stuff is on the I'm like, game starts and I'm like, catch. I was like, oh, this is good. Like, catch again. I'm like, oh man, this is like bad for the Bengals, but like, oh man, he's got like 30 something yards here in the first like three
Yeah.
plays. And then they're like, Andrews is not getting up. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, I know we're gonna get into awards and all that stuff, but like, seriously, how's that happen?
I know.
I mean, our whole league, it did not implode. Nobody was really talking about it, but there was a trade. And then like 3 plays into it, that dude goes down for the season. Come on. How
It's gonna make people not want to do trades.
yeah. I mean, and we'll get
We almost
more
never
into
do
it.
anyway. We've had
I
two tight
mean,
end trades and
so when we did the podcast, I had my Bengals jersey on. That night to the basketball game, Bengals jersey, Bengals hat. We talked about. Am I cursed, Dave?
I think that's mostly in June. Yes, you are.
Okay.
No,
All right.
I mean, Junior likes to say things are your fault. Like somehow you have power over the Reds all season long.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with them having 30 rookies on their team, but and pitching injuries. But somehow it was because you were watching the game, and so then that translates into you watching anything,
Yeah.
or basically just being alive affects sports somehow.
Ah, it was
Just
tough though. I
yeah.
mean, RIP to the Bengals season, unless you really believe in McCarron.
I mean, they're gonna go with what's his name?
I
the,
don't know.
yeah, they're gonna go with him. And I think I even posted like the announcer was trying to make the most of a situation. Like, well, we get to see what this guy has to. Nobody's
No.
clamoring to see what this guy has to offer.
Yeah. They're not,
Like,
especially if you have Bengals on your fantasy team. I mean, because you already write the season off. They're 5-5. They lose their MVP quarterback, and then yeah, that's tough. So, but Dave, you got an
special
award to give out.
Tuesday night edition.
Oh yeah, we're
Do
doing
it a
this
day
a night
early.
early. I do it a night early just in case, it's it's Thanksgiving. We
Yeah, I've
so
I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of avoided the fantasy page pretty much the entire all
I
Sunday,
there were
all
not
my
a lot of updates.
no,
Hey,
I just
I
kept waiting for good things to happen.
I do want to tell you, Dave, just from experience, okay? Just a little life coaching, okay? We cannot allow our fantasy performance to affect the way that we do our job as
Yeah.
both commissioner and podcast hosts. I mean, 2021 was a pretty rough season for me, but I showed up for work every day, did the podcast, and so you got to keep doing the league page,
Yeah.
even when your team is a dumpster fire. Okay.
So have you read what's posted right now?
I read a lot of Flexity Flex,
So as
Appendix.
brief as that is, I feel like I said more
It
in those
capped,
sentences than
caps,
I have in
caps.
4 years.
Yeah. It captured a lot of
I think
your
I
heart
did.
there.
I think
Well,
I got to the heart of everything. So yeah, we had some games. We have,
Did you
and
update?
I don't
Did
know
you?
if you paid any attention to this, but we took a little, maybe me more than you, took a little heat for giving a Miller Time Team of the Week to a team that didn't win. I think I had decent reasons for it, but
I
this
mean, to be
week,
fair, that team also got the Hillbilly of the Week.
that's true, but I don't think they called it a participation award. And when I say they, I mean Rennie. They collectively, just kind of scrutinized, but you can't do the same thing all the time.
It's
Sometimes,
also your
it's not
award to
all
give
about the
out.
W, it's about performance and about the
Mhm.
effect that it had on something. And I think Ratty was well deserving because he ended up, he went on and beat me this week. Not that that's a lot, really hard, but we're gonna go obvious this week. When you take down number one, as Rennie did, 115 to 101, and you get high points, and you mess up the standings. You Adam had just gotten himself up to, or Travis had gotten himself back into first, I
Yep.
think. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
now he's right back down below. And when you impact the standings, when you win against the number one team and you get high points, Rennie
Yeah.
Kittle is the Miller Time Team of the Week. We appreciate your service.
Yeah. And a big week. And I was telling, I was kind of talking uh, in jest, but man, it just seems like, you know, look, I don't think I've made it a secret that I want to see Adam's team burn in a giant ball of flames. So every week, I'm rooting for people to take down Adam.
Yeah.
For one, he's above me. So I want everyone who's above me to lose. So don't take it personal, Adam. I want all those teams to lose. But I haven't won all my games. I could have helped myself out a few different times during the season, but I've won quite a few games. But every time I win, who also wins? Andy, Travis, Adam.
Yeah. There's been a lot of that.
Yeah, I can't seem to catch any ground. I mean, I'm stuck in fourth place, and I've got at different points in the season right now. I think I got a game winning streak. I had a 4-game winning streak. I can't get above fourth place
Yeah.
for the life of me, and that just shows you, like, those top teams, dude. It's super competitive up there. And so for Travis to lose a game this late in the season when he had taken over first place, for Rennie to dethrone him, I was kind of teasing him. I was like, it looks like you and me are doing all the work here. Nobody else going to kind of come and help us out. But I mean, Travis put himself in a really, tough spot where now he's got to bank on Adam losing in order to retake that spot. So
you're not
it'll
just
be
doing this on purpose, because it seems like this season is trending towards 1, 2, and 3 are going to be some pretty heavy hitting teams. And if you're going to be in the playoffs, you want to be 4 or 5, because that's your best chance to make it, to play the 4 and 5, play each other and move on. Because if you're 1, 2, 3 playing 5, 6, 7, the 5, 6 or 6, 7, 8.
What am I going to do? Play Ratty? I mean, look at that.
Yeah,
It's like that's no gift.
Right now it's going to be some mixture of you, Ratty, Rennie, Andy,
yeah,
that are the 4 or 5 possibilities,
yeah,
and
it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think at top 6, those are teams, and then everybody else, those two teams fighting for the last one. But Dave, Rennie, well deserving of the Miller Time Team of the Week. Now for the Hillbilly Harrison Hillbilly of the Week. And I got to tell you, this is going to go to a team who had a chance to win, had a chance to probably turn their season around and put themselves in potential position to continue to fight for a playoff spot. And really, all they had to do was one of two things. One, roll into the end zone. Catch a pass and roll into the end zone.
Well, he kind of did. His knee went down. If he just stays upright and falls in.
Yeah. So that's
Can you believe that?
we usually reserve those things for Brian, but Dave, your team did it. And the other thing is, you have this affection for quarterbacks that run, and so you
No.
keep starting Fields when on your bench is a guy that does nothing but just be nice and consistent, nice and consistent, nice and consistent. And then on the week where he actually pops off and gets you 32 points, and that could have got you.
So here, here's where I went wrong. Was I thought all along I had Purdy in the lineup. It was, and then once Madison was ruled okay to play, I thought, and I had that Chandler kid, and I'm like, well, he's not going to get very many carries, so I got to get more points somehow, take a risk. And Fields has got 2 games with 40. I'm like, well, I'll try to chase the points just because I thought I was going to desperately need him. I didn't realize this Chandler kid was going to be better, going to go off for like 10 points to where all I needed was, a floor, which I probably needed a bigger, it's just one of those. And then, but I could go to Gabe Davis and be like, how come you can't catch a pass? How do you get a 0?
Or why is it every time you seem to start Kmet, he gets like no points too?
He had one good week for me early on, and then he's kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. But yeah, and then I don't know. I thought that Green Bay would struggle against the Chargers. Did really well for me a couple weeks ago, defensive wise, but I guess that was because it was a bad team.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing worse than losing a really important game by only a few points and knowing that all the points that you needed
Yeah,
were right there on your bench.
Been a rare.
So Dave, congratulations.
That's the only thing. Like this
scoring
whole
100
season,
and 102 points almost, and but like you said, it's on brand for you because who has the most points scored against them?
Yeah,
Dave.
That'd be me. Yeah, I mean, it just is. This was probably this. I think this was the only week where a bench change would have made a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, like Junior, honorable mention. I know that you were really hoping to get this award, but like we said, I can't even justify this with like a conversation because I don't know that this was Junior's real lineup. I think him and his best friend have some kind of like, you and I need to kind of talk about, this is a good segue, Dave, right before we get into, we got some other things we want to do, but what's the difference between like a symbiotic friendship and then one where it's kind of like, what's the thing called where it's like you have a relationship, but it just kind of sucks all the life out of you and it gets stronger and you get weaker and you eventually that's what I was thinking of. Like, what kind of bestie friendship is this when
we're besties. Oh, by the way, I'm going to beat you by, 50, 60 points.
Yeah. What? I don't understand the.
How does Junior have 2 more wins than me? That's mind-boggling.
So, I mean, hey, to each their own. If those two want to pull together and be best friends the week that they're playing each other, I mean,
it's been the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Everything posted, it's always like, oh yeah, you're my
Yeah. So, well, we are recording this early. It is Thanksgiving week, and so Dave and I put our heads together and thought, you know what? In the spirit of thankfulness, we wanted to write some thank yous to the teams that are making up our league. And so I'll start. This is in no particular order. We're just going to kind of go through some random names of guys, and I'll share mine, and then you share yours.
Okay. And we haven't shared these, so we might overlap a little bit. But
yeah, I have no idea what we're going to talk about. This is completely unrehearsed. So I'll start with Brennan. Dear Brennan, I'm thankful you invited me to your wedding. Those oysters were amazing. I'm also thankful that your team is historically bad. We need more teams like yours in this league.
Okay, that's
thanks,
heartfelt.
Brennan. Yeah.
So mine, I'll start with Brennan. Why not? For being a Playboy billionaire genius, it let's see. It hasn't transitioned into success on the fantasy football field. And so I'm thankful for Brennan is right there with me with only 2 wins. Thanks, Brennan.
Oh, again, no particular order, but next on my list is Dave. So Dave, this is for you. Dear Dave, I'm thankful you run our league. You're the only one of the 12 of us I trust with this much money. I'm also thankful your team is bad. I think this experience will give you a greater perspective in being a good commissioner. So now that you know what the rest of us kind of go through, it's going to give you
Okay.
for the common man. You know what I
I
mean?
can appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I didn't do one for me, so
Yeah. Of course not.
I'm ready for Brian.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you start.
Okay. I don't know much about really like Brian, but I know that he coaches youth football. So I'm thankful that I've heard very few stories about Brian molesting young football kids. So that's what I'm thankful
Oh,
for. Very
yeah.
few.
Very,
I mean,
very few. Yeah.
just a few, not a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. All right. Dear Brian, I'm thankful you seem to get all the bad beats. It's like that you spare the rest of us from having close losses. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. You see what he does? He like absorbs all the real, except for yours this past week, that bad beat. Yeah. But for the most part, Brian takes them all for us.
Okay.
It's very Christ-like.
All right. So moving on.
Yeah.
I, I haven't been in a lot of fights in my life, like actual, fist fights and stuff. But if the chance, arose where I found myself in a position where I needed some help beating people up,
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I'm good enough friends with Lee that for $200 he'd probably come help me beat up some people.
I think you're maybe 100.
Maybe.
Oh, so is that was that a setup or is that the actual thing?
That was
Oh, yeah,
I'm
okay.
thankful for Lee.
Oh, so Lee, I feel like I don't know what this list seems familiar, but I can't put my finger on
Yeah. Well,
the order.
I think because we're a day early, we haven't done the power rankings, so maybe that's what messed us up.
Yeah. All right. So, dear Lee, I'm thankful you haven't killed me. I've made fun of your team and awarded you Hillbilly of the Week on multiple occasions, and I'm still breathing. Right? I mean, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we kind of had the same theme for Lee.
Yeah, we did a little overlap on that. Lee's ability.
Big strong guy. That's what we're getting at.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Who you got next?
I got you'll see.
Okay.
So you hear the expression, that guy in quotation marks. Well, I'm thankful that the guy that man, I wish I could read my own writing. I should have redone this. The guy that skates through life with very few brain cells left, is quick to post the dumbest things on a chat, and and then celebrates being besties with Satan. I'm thankful that I know that guy's name is Junior.
Oh, that's so sweet, Dave. All right, so I would say that again, a little bit of overlap, okay? Unplanned, but dear Junior, I'm thankful you live in Ohio and I rarely see you. Happy Thanksgiving. I mean,
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, it's like, he exists, he's pretty close to you in proximity, but yet you don't have to see him.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
you
perfect,
just have to read his stupid posts and pictures and whatever.
Yeah. Well, here, this is one of my favorite members of our league.
Okay, you can go.
Okay. Yeah. Dear Ed, I'm thankful you're our hillbilly mascot. Even when it seems like you might be having success, no, you still find a way to hillbilly. So thanks, Ed.
Mine's a similar theme. Imagine that. But, been in the league a lot of years now, lots of leagues, seen some people come and go. And I'm thankful that somehow, some way, we found in Ed just somebody that Fines, the hillbilly from Hillbilly Harris League.
Yeah. I mean,
I
even
mean,
when this season started out, you're like, oh, maybe this is the year. No, hold on. Oh, just wait. I'll find a way.
okay.
So, yeah. All right. I bet this one's gonna have some similar themes too. Who you got
It
next?
might. I got Josh.
All right, let's hear it.
I got, that list that's out there of the 10 worst things that Josh has done in his life? Well, I don't know any of the things on that list, and I'm thankful that I don't, and that I never will, and that I can always consider him the best of us.
Oh, see, very similar. Dear Ratty, I'm thankful you're the one guy in the league everyone likes. Every league needs the good guy. Thanks for being ours.
I
Right?
mean, I tried to hate him this week after
No,
he beat me,
I
but
mean, what are you
I
gonna
only
say?
beat myself.
No,
You
yeah.
know,
What are you
I
gonna
beat
say about
myself.
Josh?
He didn't beat me. I beat myself. It's not
Yeah.
Josh's fault. He's too nice a guy.
Hey, and if you would have been playing me, and your wide receiver would have got tackled on the 1 yard line, what would the chat have looked like?
Oh, I would have been punching you through this thing.
But Josh says one thing. He goes, I was glad he got tackled there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Well,
Yeah. So, all right, I'll let you start with this one.
All right. All right. We got Rennie.
Okay.
He's up next. So, not if, but when, during a draft night at the tavern, things go awry.
Yep.
And like somebody says something about Adam, Lee starts throwing things, and we all end up in the slammer. I'm thankful that we got somebody like Rennie that maybe 70-30 with Brennan's help could pay for all our bails to get out.
That is, yeah. Those two would collection and get us out. So here goes. Rennie's one of my dearest, oldest friends. Okay. Dear Rennie, I'm thankful that you watch the podcast every week and always have my back. Unless we're playing each other, we're both going for high points. Never mind. Scratch that second part. That's my buddy Rennie.
All right. So next up, I have you.
Oh, okay.
So
there isn't this order's making more sense now.
It is making sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see a little pattern here. So for you, history often repeats itself, Kevin. You realize that, kind of like they always talk about the back of a baseball card.
Yeah.
And so, as difficult as this season has been on me with you finding success, I'm thankful that the odds are real good that after this season's over, you'll revert back to the fantasy football Kevin that I've known and loved all this time.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
And you're probably right.
We can only hope.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's another one of my oldest and dearest friends, newest member.
Let me go first real fast.
Oh, okay.
Can I go first
ahead.
on this one?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I'm thankful that Danny is you can play Danny and he can be the win when you need it.
Dave.
In your schedule, what?
Dave, I posted about this in chat. Danny's not in the league anymore.
Oh, who is?
His name is Andy. I know they sound a lot.
Well,
they completely different.
Oh, Andy. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Right. Yeah. I wrote something for Andy because I remembered that.
No, I forgot
that Danny no longer in our league. Okay. But I do miss that guy. Dear Andy, I'm thankful you joined the league this year. I mean, why would we want Danny? Nicest guy ever and guaranteed win. A breath of fresh air. You've been an asshole, Andy. Thanks for being here.
Oh, man. I wasn't ready for that one.
Yeah. So, again, unrehearsed, but very similar.
We seem to have the same themes here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me go first because
Sure.
I don't know what you're going to have to say about this next one. And dear Flex, I'm thankful you're a man of principle. You're going to beat that Flex drum until the day you die. Travis, keep fighting the good fight.
Hmm.
You go a
Well,
different direction?
I'm thankful that, Travis has finally embraced the nostalgia, the history and tradition of the Hillbilly Harrison Football League, and for not, sullying the purity of the running back, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver format. He's finally given up. That's what, well,
Dave, he has
that,
not given up. That's
a guy
wishful
can
thinking.
dream, right? Is Thanksgiving,
Oh,
is it not wishful? Oh,
yeah.
well.
All right. Well, it looks like that's all the time we got tonight,
Yeah,
Dave.
that's all the thanks I got. I'm out of thanks. Hey, wait, is that a thanks? Is there somebody giving me a no? I'm fresh out of thanks.
Oh, goodness. No.
No, just
All
kidding.
right. Dear Adam, I'm thankful you know all this is a joke and you never take any of this personal. Like when Dave calls you Satan or when I call you a big whining crybaby. Man, you sure can't take a joke.
All right. So sometimes you got to dig deep for
Yeah.
these kind of things. And so for me, I had to harken back to the year 2019, and I'm thankful that year Adam became one of us. He didn't make the playoffs, proving that he's there's a smidgen of evidence that he's not the demon-filled robot that was created to just make our lives miserable in fantasy football.
So you're saying he's human.
Yeah, he was in
Yeah.
2019 anyway.
Okay.
I think there must have been something going on like that year, or
Yeah.
like somebody was doing his team for him, or but yeah, back then he was human, so I have to remember that for the it may never happen again.
Ah. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that version of Dave and Kevin's Thanksgiving. We are thankful for all of you, no matter what we say or post or think.
All right, so let's burn through the rest. We covered a few matchups. We covered Rennie winning. We covered me and
Well,
Josh.
let me ask you a couple questions about this because some of these matter, some of them don't. We touched on some of them. Brian got a win over Brennan. That means
Yes.
something?
I mean, not yet. I mean, it means something. Like Brennan's right there with me. It's like we'd have to win out, and a lot of things would have to go our way. But for Brian, he's got one more win, leeway, and the people above him have been struggling, and so there's a couple spots up for grab. Ed Jr. and Lee are all capable of being passed by Brian.
Yeah. I thought maybe there was a chance if things went well for Lee. They didn't go well for Lee. I wasn't thinking, but that I thought Lee maybe could get enough points that maybe with a couple things happened. Junior scored just enough, and then
Yeah.
Lee didn't score enough. But I mean, Junior's 8th spot is in jeopardy. So his loss to Adam was big. And Rennie's victory, we mentioned before, Rennie's victory over Travis, that, it does something for Rennie. Obviously solidifies him in top 5 status probably. He, gives him a really a nice edge over where Ratty's at. Ratty's still got a losing record. Rennie's at 7-4. I mean, top 5 are feeling pretty solid, right? But for Travis, I mean, digs himself a little bit of hole. Andy's win over Lee, really for that bunch of 3, which is like Ed, Lee, and Junior, all have the same record. Am I right with that? 4-7.
Yes.
Yeah. 4, so it's all going to come down to like points.
4-7. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to come down to points for them, like who ends up in and out, and Brian again trying to like knock his way up into that group. But Andy just keeps on keeping pace. Like that's the thing, so like the win for him is like anywhere along this road, like when I've been having win streaks or whatever, it's like if Andy drops, then I jump into third or whatever it might be. But no, Andy just keeps winning. I mean,
Yeah. Sitting there with 8 wins, you know, and he's within, with there's enough games left. If things go awry for both Travis and Adam, which a lot has to go wrong, but he's at least right there in the thick of things,
Yeah, and for Ratty, for all the good things he's done all season, for Tua and for just his whole team, that loss would have been pretty.
Yeah.
Would have
it would
made
have given
him
me more hope
susceptible
and put him on the chopping block with with those other guys. But now he's that was a big win for him because he's probably secured. I don't think he's got an X by his name, but it should be there.
Yeah.
So,
well, that was week 11. We got a crazy week this week because we've got 3 Thursday night games, a Friday night game.
Yep.
And then no Saturday though, right?
No.
Not this weekend.
But there's no bye. There's nobody on bye. At least they did that.
Yep.
So there's lots of players in.
So, well, let's start with Adam. He's our reigning first place team, but
yep. This is a big one.
This is. I mean, I'm asking for Andy to take a L, but I'm also asking for Adam to take an L. So this is one of those situations where I don't benefit from either one of these teams winning or losing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like I almost got to.
And that's where it comes down this late in the season to the matchups matter because sometimes there's no way that you can be helped.
Yeah.
The wrong people play each other.
Here's the truth though. I want Andy to win, Adam to lose. I want to win, and I want to outscore Andy. That's the only thing. Like for me, but if we just focus on this matchup, like let's not get ahead of ourselves. Adam's got the early projection lead. Now some things could change. Andy could switch up his lineup if he wanted to and do some different things. But I've said this all along. We talked early. Adam's team has been trending stronger and stronger as the weeks have gone on. So and
you look at the only thing that might take a hit is Mixon.
Yeah.
Just because of the Bengals situation. But he's got a bench full of people or at least he could plug in Kamara in there if he wanted to. So he's not hurting there. Andy took a hit with Walker in Seattle getting hurt early, and but he's been probably, definitely been better than what Singletary's been all year. But Singletary's trending. Houston's been doing a little better. So they're both, and there's not a ton of holes. Boyd probably does take a hit more than Mixon just because of the quarterback situation, but maybe he goes out and finds another wide receiver. But this should be, Hurts got the better of Mahomes. He's playing good, but Herbert's been playing pretty good too. But Baltimore's defense is probably a little better than Buffalo's. So
it's that's got to be one of our marquee matchups. And then
Adam finds himself probably with the defense of play of the season with Miami versus the Jets.
Yeah,
the Jets were bad before, and now they're switching quarterbacks, so that's a big advantage.
Now, if you're Brian and you're trying to make the playoffs, what better gift than to get to play flex?
Yeah.
So coming off of a loss. He has not lost back-to-back games all season.
You got to think Mahomes is not happy about, the interception in the end zone and drop passes by Kelsey. And so he's probably going to play mad against Vegas and drop a 40 spot.
Did you see the pass that Scantling lost?
It wouldn't have made, I did the math, and it wouldn't have propelled Lee to a win, but it would have made that match a lot closer.
Gosh. And it would have changed the trajectory of the football game. So, a mean guy would have posted that on chat about Adams Chiefs losing and not being able to catch footballs, but we didn't do that, Dave.
The opposite happened. Adam got on and somebody posted something about the Chiefs, and he got a little defensive about it.
Yeah.
People post him whenever they lose, like it's always a big deal when the Chiefs lose.
Yeah. Well, reigning Super Bowl champions. So,
I think definitely Brian has his work cut out for him with, but he's got his teams improving. Lamar's been playing good, so he scored almost 100 with Brown on Philly getting 0.5 points. So that you got to think that's not going to happen again.
Yeah, I mean, Brian has as legit a shot of beating Travis as anybody does all season. Lamar can be great, so you just never know what's going to happen there. We already mentioned Andy, so then that's me versus Brennan. Did I mention how thankful I was that Brennan was in our league?
So what do we got here? Where are we at here?
Well, he's got Dak, so that's not great. And I need a tight end. I don't know if you heard this, but my tight end got hurt.
Yeah. So yeah, you're at 95 without a tight end. So
Brendan's gonna Junior's gonna rewind this because I said my tight end.
He wants to hear it again, real slow.
Yeah.
Tight end. No, don't get too excited, Junior.
Yeah.
He's probably driving. Careful. Pull over.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, you don't have another one on your team, do you? So
I do not. No. You think Brennan would want to give
Ingram back?
Yeah, give me Ingram back. What's it going to cost? So
you're kind of, are you in my dilemma with, what do you do? Do you put Lawrence in because he would have gotten you a lot more points, or do you go? You stick with the hot hand Dobbs?
I would have had a chance at high points maybe if I would have.
It's real tempting to have that Monday night quarterback because then you're like, if you're behind, you got the best chance to get a lot of points. So I could see keeping Dobbs in there just for that. But a point is a point, whether it's scored on Thursday or Monday. So
Yeah, I just think Chicago's really bad, but I may be wrong. So we'll see. I mean, and then with the running backs for me, Williams is supposed to come back this week, but being week 1, I probably will roll with my Jacksonville Jaguars and with Taylor and see where we get. Yeah. Chase obviously takes, probably out of everybody, takes the biggest hit because he's going to be doubled. And, it's going to be tough. Burrow can get it to him, but I don't know that.
I don't know either.
Yeah. So
what would you think of if old Puka is the one that beat you?
It's set up that way, isn't it? So, I mean, Brennan got himself a heck of a wide receiver. I mean, 13 points in his first week. That's not bad, right?
Yeah.
For a tight end that's never going to play again. I mean,
and his tight end that he played instead of Andrews did just as good. Did better than Andrews, obviously.
Yeah. So
So yeah, I mean, he's got a chance. I mean, he's got a decent shot at beating you this week. It's just things just haven't gone his way. So.
All right. So here goes again when you talk about matchups. Rennie versus Ratty. I mean, both of them are probably still fine, but one of these guys is going to get a loss. And so this late in the season, that's probably not ideal for either one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think it matters for. I mean, Rennie's he's within 3 games of the, 7. Was it 9 wins for? Oh no, 10 wins. So yeah, Adam would have to lose at some point for him to get there. So this is the last week where obviously it matters.
Yeah, but
for a chance at the championship.
Yeah, but and Rennie's not going to drop out of the playoffs. Ratty though, he wouldn't want to go on a 3-game losing streak.
No, and let anybody below, have a chance of knocking him out. But it would take a lot of points, I think, for enough teams to knock him out. But he's in the same dilemma you are. He's got Higgins, that now has a kind of bad quarterback, so he might roll with somebody else. But yeah, Tua and Hill have been pretty deadly together.
Yeah. Is it fair to say that our next matchup, which is Ed versus Junior, that one of these two teams isn't making the playoffs?
Because
too
of
soon
this
to
week?
Say that? Too soon to say
they play
that?
each other this week.
It's going to make it tougher though on the team that loses.
Yeah. I guess where are they at? They're at technically 8 and 9. So, or no, well,
7 and 8,
7
right?
and 8. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if both Brian and Lee lose, it won't matter this week, but yeah, I mean,
So
it,
Ed has 100-point advantage over these guys, which is almost as good as a win, right? I mean, that's pretty big. But being tied in wins and losses with them, so
so
I
obviously the
mean,
people below, like, me and Brian and Brennan would hope that Junior somehow pulls this off just because he's got the least amount of points.
yeah,
And we could possibly pass him in wins if we catch him in wins. But then
yeah.
every win he gets, I have to get one more, So
Yeah.
really this match helps me not at all.
No, but it does help. So Lee is on the outside looking in, and he plays
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Which is
He
a
has the
great
same
matchup for him.
he has the same amount of wins, and he is in reach of Junior. He's not in reach of Ed in points, but he's in reach of
Yeah.
Junior at points. If Junior were to have another 55-point stinker and Lee were to score well, so your matchup versus Lee and Ed's matchup versus Junior, huge implications. Probably more
Yeah.
so just in who that eighth team is going to be
Oh yeah.
going into the
Yeah.
last 2 weeks of the season.
And whether, you know, it'll be the final nail in the coffin for me if I
Yeah.
lose, of course.
I'll tell you this, just like I hope it comes down to the very last week that everybody's in play,
Yeah.
or at least a couple teams are in play. Like I would hate for it to be like, oh, these 8 teams are locked in and we got 2 weeks to go.
Because I mean, this will be, first, I think it's first year in a while. I mean, it's been a few years, I think, since I didn't make the playoffs, and I don't know if I've done it since, I have to go back and look, since we started letting everybody have a chance at the $10 just to
Yeah.
keep everybody a little
What do you
interested.
get $10 for?
Oh yeah. I could explain it. It might take me 45 minutes, just like the waiver thing. So there's this thing called high points. If you
Okay.
score the most in the league any given week, then there's this $10 that I set aside that I'll pass out later at
I
the
thought
end of
only
the
certain teams could do that. Like
only
Travis's
certain
team is allowed to do it,
Rennie's is
and Rennie's
allowed.
team's allowed to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody's allowed?
Anybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, why don't more teams go for that?
Um, I don't
It's
know.
complicated.
It is. There's
Like
an
the
algorithm.
waivers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't figured it out yet.
No, I have not figured it out yet. That's 100% accurate. So, but hey, it cost me $60 to get into the league.
Oh,
I'm gonna make the playoffs. That's
I haven't done. I don't think I haven't really done the math, but I'm pretty sure I've won enough to where I'm ahead. So you
oh,
win a couple times, that covers
hold up.
$60.
Oh,
A few weeks or a few years.
can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
One second. Hey, Katie.
No.
Have I won enough in the last 20 years to make up for how much it cost me to play?
No.
She says I haven't won enough to make up for how
Yeah.
much it cost me to play.
Because even there's been a lot of years where I've gotten enough high points to cover the 60 plus making the playoffs. So
Wait,
yeah,
what are those again?
I'm definitely ahead. Yeah, high points. So, a year like this, I can stomach, not getting anything back, other than the camaraderie and the fun.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
hey, don't forget what we get paid out of the league fee, what we get paid for doing the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, none of the by the time the season's over, none of those guys not named Adam remember what we said we pay the winner anyway. So we just take a little off the top for us for all the hard work we're doing here. You know what I mean?
So I was toying around with a side bet.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't really figured out exactly how it worked.
Fully
Let me
fleshed
just
out
thinking
yet?
out loud. It's not no.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, everybody submits 3 of the 12 of us. You can pick your
Yep.
own team if you want. And so it'll be total points wins, but the catch is you add up the 2 highest, but then the lowest score you subtract from those 2.
Okay.
So you try to think like, are you trying for 3 really good people? Do you want to throw in somebody you think's going to suck so that your low score doesn't take as much off?
So you're saying, like, for me,
So
just off the top of my head, I might say, okay, I want Travis, I want Rennie, and I want Junior.
Okay. So say they both scored 100 and Junior scores 50, your total would be 150.
Okay.
And if I pick, 3 guys that all 3 score 100,
Yep.
I'd be left with 100.
Yeah.
But then if you pick,
like it.
You pick Junior and he happens to go off for 150, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. All
so
right,
there's some
Dave.
strategy. What do you think?
Dave,
do you think that would work? Am I missing something? Like, is there something with the math that I'm missing that wouldn't?
No, I think we are you trying to get this instituted in time for Thanksgiving week, or
For
is this
Thursday? Yeah. Like start Thursday by midday, submit. I mean, what do you think?
Thursday by 12, all your 3 teams submitted to Dave, and Venmo him your $10, and winner takes all. I love it, Dave.
You think it'll work?
I do.
I think there's some strategy there. It's like, do you pick 3 duds?
Well, and you would want to go in and look at who's got who on injury, who's what the matchups are, like, not just, I think Travis is one of our best teams, he scores the most points historically. What if he's got terrible matchups this week? You'd be like,
yeah,
actually Brian's projected to score a lot of points this week, I might roll with him. Or because a lot of teams, you feel like a lot of teams are going with Adam and Travis, and then Junior, let's be honest.
Yeah,
then you'd be like, well, let me try to do something different so that I don't get caught up in, the tie with everybody else or something. So
the only thing that crossed my mind is I can't imagine somebody manipulating their own lineup to benefit for this little side bet. Like, that wouldn't like to bench everybody and put yourself in as a 0 just to make that seem like that would be pretty extreme. And if somebody wants to do that, then I hope it's Lee playing me, bench everybody so you get a 0 and put yourself in there so that you get, you don't have any things. That would be the only caveat that somebody could deliberately.
Did you get those receipts I submitted to you?
No, I didn't.
Well, for all of our lawyer work that we've been having done, I don't know, our legal department's been working overtime with all the kind of the dust up with Junior. First, he said that the Bengals were going to bring in a quarterback that we're not going to name, and that violated one of our policies. And then the whole thing between him and Adam, there was some speculation that collusion was going on, so we had to call our lawyers, and we had some stuff going on. So I just didn't know, like, that got kind of costly when I was going and getting that legal advice and then the write-ups. And so I submitted that to you. I'm still waiting on that.
Because you feel like that you had a receipt that would allow you a certain player back.
No, that's a different receipt.
Oh, what receipt are you talking about?
The receipt for all the lawyers for the legal notices that I put out there for Junior.
Who's supposed to pay that?
Well, it like comes out of the league fee. Like, it's kind of like the NFL. You know what I mean? Like,
okay,
it's like one big pie, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is that
no, I got them. Yeah. Okay. You'll get your money.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
All right,
it's on its way.
The other receipt was, I said that I tried on Mark Andrews. He didn't fit. It's within 15 days.
Like a lemon
he's barely been used. I have the receipt still. Can I get a refund? That's what I was asking.
No.
No?
Doesn't work that way.
All right. Well, Dave, you've got a daughter to go pick. I don't know. Why don't you just let
the coronation dance? I don't even know what's a coronation dance. Dave, I don't even know what that is.
Why don't you just let one of those fine gentlemen that attends Harrison High School drive your daughter home? I mean,
Yeah.
Junior's got like 9 sons that go there. I'm sure that one of them would, I mean, he doesn't even know about half of them. One of
Yeah.
them would drive your daughter home.
I tell you, if
Instead,
anybody ever named Boatwright comes within 5 feet of my daughter, then I'm going to pay $200 to Lee to have him beat up.
oh goodness. I'm going big Thanksgiving plans.
Okay.
I'm gonna smoke some turkey breast and I'm gonna make a pork loin. So
I
that's
bet you are.
I know it's wonderful. That's a lot of meat talk for Junior. So I mean,
It is.
dude, he's gonna save this podcast. I know he is. Tight ends and meat talk.
He might get so excited he'll grow another appendix.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got big Thanksgiving plans?
Just going to Connorsville with the fam, so that'll be good. I think not most people will be there. A lot of people, some extra
Yeah. All right.
extended family.
When you go to Connorsville, do you just like get all the meth you need for like the year and then bring it back?
There's a little store. It's called the meth store, Connorsville
Yeah.
Meth Store. CMS, yeah. And then you just
Yeah.
go and you don't have to pay for it. You just
Yeah.
they give it your first batch free.
Free, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
That's Connorsville.
oh goodness.
No.
So all right. Well, Dave, have a happy Thanksgiving.
All right.
League, good luck this week. Don't forget, fill out your lineups. There's games all weekend long. It's going to be so much fun. I hope you get some time off work. Rennie, make sure that I don't know, do whatever it is that Rennie does. Like I don't know what you do when you're a bachelor for Thanksgiving. He's probably going to Jeff Ruby's and having steak. I don't really know.
One of those Friendsgiving things. Now, he's got a family, right? Doesn't he have parents that or something? He wasn't hatched out of an egg, was he?
He's got aunts and uncles and a brother and maybe some grandparents. So
okay.
I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Everybody, we're thankful for all of you. So yeah, good luck this week. Dave,
see y'all in the chat.
Even though your season's over, you still got work to do. We got a podcast to put on, okay? So lift your spirits. Andy, send Dave some David Goggins quotes to kind of get him motivated.
That guy's intense, man.
Yeah.
Andy got a little snippy.
Yeah, so all right, you guys have a good one. Dave, thank you. Peace.